Fellas, last time we got to talk, I had the best mustache you'd ever seen, and
I was gonna say, dude, what happened to the mustache?
so I'm looking at myself last night, and I only had a little stubble, and I'm like, they're gonna be so disappointed with me that Mario's not back, looking like an idiot with a
100%.
shaved face. So
That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, dude, what is this? This guy's a
Who is this
fraud.
imposter, dude?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I don't want to talk to this guy unless he has a mustache. That's the
Yeah,
rule
man,
for the interview.
call us
I
back
get
in a
it.
few months.
No, it'll take a week. I'm a very hairy man. It's disgusting.
Amazing, man. You look great.
That was when I should go to bed was just sort of coming out, and now it's number one. How do you celebrate a number one in COVID times? Do you go for a socially distant champagne walk, or what do you do?
Oh my goodness. I think Dan and I have been we've been quarantined together. We've been in our little bubble, and it's just we just celebrated by writing more music and just trying to get the next one up there. It's we were very thankful for that, man. It was awesome to have that moment. We did celebrate. We had a few drinks together and kind of cheers to that moment, man. It was I feel like whenever you're on tour, a lot of times you don't get to take really the time to be able to celebrate little moments like that. Obviously not a little moment. That's a huge moment in your career. And looking back, I think that was one thing that Dan and I really reflected on is, we were so busy with touring and everything. We didn't take enough time to really, appreciate all the amazing moments that we had. And so we've tried to, moving forward, just to not only reflect on things that we've gotten to do in the past, the awards that we've gotten to receive and the shows that we've done. We try to make sure that we're reminding each other how cool it is, that we get to do what we get to do. And we're very appreciative of that. And that Glad You Exist just kind of fits in with that and really helped our mentality of that of, what, this is an awesome message for our fans, but we need to remember that, I'm very glad that this guy over here exists and that we get to do music together. And always remembering that. And
that's such a
great
positive to come out of a pandemic, that you actually take time to learn that we need to do that more, to take time to celebrate the little things. You guys are such hard workers, always so smoking busy. So I really hope that, everybody takes a little something from this pandemic when there's so much negative, whether it's a new craft you're learning or something introspective about yourself, that we can actually remember to continue going forward when we do get to sort of get back to a little bit of normalcy, right?
100%, man. I think there's a lot of great lessons from this era. Obviously, a lot of terrible things too, but a lot of things. I feel like there's been a lot of advancements. I mean, even like this Zoom, you know what I mean? Like we're connecting. The world has become smaller because of that. We can connect to talk to you without having to get on a plane or a bus. We can stay in contact a little bit better, or write songs virtually. You can connect with somebody halfway across the country or across the world and say, hey, I got a quick idea. It doesn't have to be, all right, we should get together in like 3 weeks, because at that point you may have lost the inspiration or the spark. So it's
what I love is you talk about the connection with people all over the world. And I knew something was up. You guys are so great on social media all the time. But when I see so much reposting and connecting with fans, which you do anyways, I was like, there's got to be something coming for the fans, whether it's a video or some sort of announcement. Glad You Exist comes out, and I was like, oh, that is so perfect, because for you guys, that is about your amazing fans, which are rabid, right?
They're the best, man. That was, we've always wanted a song like that, kind of as a, an overall just thank you and appreciation for our fans, and sharing a good message. It's hard to write a song, it's not hard to find inspiration to write a song like that, but making a song like that, makes sense and sound like a Dan and Shay hit, that our fans are going to love and that people are going to react to is, those don't come along, a lot. We've obviously had breakup songs, we've had love songs and everything in between, but a song like this is hard to find sometimes. And we were very thankful to have that message out there into the world. And it was awesome, man, to be able to get that out to our fans and encourage them to, not only for us to tell them, look, I'm glad that you exist, and we would not have anything if it wasn't for our fans, and we miss them, obviously not being able to do shows and everything, but encouraging, that narrative of being able to, you need to tell somebody that you love them, just as we're very appreciative of you and we're glad that you exist, kind of being able to spread that and for people to share their stories and encouraging that. And we got gladyouexist.com, and, people were able to go on that website, and we had a frame that said Glad You Exist, and you could tell, why you're glad that person exists. And that just spread so much positivity and just good vibes all around the world. It was just amazing to see the stories of people, sharing their stories about their spouse or their friend or their dog, their cat, all these amazing stories that were incredible, and, military homecomings. And it was just really good for our souls to be able to read all of that. And not only, us reading it, but also just other fans and being able to, for them to share stories and things was just it was just like an explosive thing of positivity. It was just incredible. So we're very thankful to be that's way bigger than us.
I think it's so important because now we don't get to see those people that we're glad they exist as much as we want, or be with them every day because of these restrictions. Or, maybe you're like me and you've gone through a really big loss in the last year, and you're so glad that when that person was in your life, you told them as much as you could how much you love them, how much you're glad they exist. And it's such a great reminder that when you have that person, you got to make sure you tell them as much as you can, just how much you love them, how much you appreciate them before you can't.
100%, man. Yeah, that's what it's all about right there. Whether it's on social media or, via text, via email, whatever. There's nothing like telling them in person, though. And that's what we can't wait for. When we get back, I think this song is really connecting on a deep human level. I think when we can get back in a room and play a show, I can just like see this vision of everybody looking to their left or looking to their right to the person that they came to the show with and just saying, man, I'm glad you're here on this planet at the same time I'm on this planet. It's truly remarkable when you think about it. So yeah, man, that song I feel like it's just connecting in a different way than anything we've ever done before.
But that you're gonna look out, and there's like five or six spots during your guys' set where you'll look out and see somebody down on one knee, and now there's just another opportunity during your set.
Hey, we'll take it every time, man. Yeah, 100%.
I gotta ask you, because it is about the fans, is there just one that pops out to you, a fan encounter, a fan DM, email that you've gotten that really meant a lot to you just off the top of your head?
Yeah, I got one last night, actually. I screenshotted it, and I think I reposted. There's been so many. I mean, some of them are super deep. Some are, your song, I was considering suicide, and your song saved me. It was the message I needed to hear, or somebody said this message to me, and it changed the trajectory of my life. Those things are always like, remind us why we do it. But, even just the message from this girl, she said, your music is still touching fans every day. I know how hard you work to write and produce your songs. And then on top of it, you all have the best voices. Every time I hear a song, I'm brought back to countless times at your concerts. And then she goes on to talk about how her wedding procession was 10,000 hours. The guys walked down the aisle to tequila. She walked down to speechless. I mean, just stuff like that. She probably didn't think twice about that message she sent. But, for us as artists, man, it's been a tough time, like not being able to feel that tangible love from fans on stage and in a crowd. And sometimes you lose perspective. You're like, does anybody care? Does anybody like our music anymore? And when you get a message like that is a mundane, simple little just thank you, it's like, that's why we do what we do. That's why we, work 20 hours a day on vocal takes to get the perfect take, for our fans and for radio, because you guys deserve that. So it's little bits of encouragement like that have gotten us through this quarantine. It's really crazy.
Well, and what I love about you guys is you're so active with your fans on social media. Like, it is actually you're reading those messages. And for us as fans, you don't get that with everybody. So just as a thank you for everybody who doesn't get a chance to speak with you like this, thank you for taking the time to read those DMs. And I'm glad that they're getting through to you and not somebody on the side like Laura's like, yeah, this is great. So I'm Dan and Shay.
No, man, it's us. I just got a new phone, so I'm a little bit more efficient now. It's great. You
guys mentioned, how it's great you want to be out on radio and how you connect through radio. And this is the most added song 2 weeks in a row in country radio. I want to bring you guys back to the first time you ever heard a Dan and Shay song on the radio. Where were you? What was the feeling? What happened?
We were at my house, I believe, that I was living in Nashville, and Dan you might have we moved in together into this house. Because we were together always. We were like, all right, let's go. And I think that our friend worked at a radio station, and she was like, hey, they're gonna play your song. It was 19 You and Me. It was our first single, and we freaked out. Like, we ran outside, and I was like, dude, we gotta go out here and check this out. We turned it up. I had a Jeep at the time, and the speakers were not good. They especially weren't good after we literally blew them out trying to listen to this song. It was, I don't even remember what time. It might have been like pretty early in the morning.
It was very early.
Really early in the morning. It was a morning show, probably like 5:30 or 6 in the morning, which was, especially at that time, very early for me to be up. And we ran out there, just cranked it up. And I just remember that. I mean, I still remember, the weeks leading up to that, Dan and I would ride around in that same Jeep listening to the demo of that song and being just so stoked that we had music into the world. And the fact that someone wanted to play it on the radio, we were freaking out. And I just remember that feeling of just like, man, this is literally, it's a realization of your dreams coming true. If it would have stopped at that and we never had a career at all, that would have been worth it in that moment to just be like, we got to hear a song on the radio. That's how exciting it is. And Dan and I text him every single time. We're not doing as much driving, but on my drive over here, I always I'll text him and be like, dude, our song's on the radio. And it's still, that magic that we had in the very beginning of just like something that we created and came out of our brains is now on the airwaves, for millions of people to hear. And it's still a very special thing. If you can't tell, we get very excited about it. It's unbelievable. All right. It's incredible.
But I love it because in my head, I'm picturing the Dan and Shay hug. We've all grown to love at award shows when you guys win. It's this big bear hug embrace. And I'm just picturing that morning, the song comes on, you guys do that, you run outside to the Jeep, and it makes us feel good that you guys really do celebrate all those little moments, and you're continuing to do that. I got to get you out of here on this. I got 2 questions for you from my show. I need you to end the debate that happened on my show. It had people fired up yesterday. Do you keep your peanut butter in the fridge or the cupboard?
This is a debate, and I actually keep it in the fridge.
Oh no!
Don't. It's bad, I guess. Is there a difference between almond butter and peanut butter? The basic refrigeration or not? Probably not. But I keep it in the fridge. I'm not sure why, but only after I open it. So like if you refrigerate it, so I get like the natural whatever almond butter, and it like there's the oil, right? It's separated from the thing. So I have to keep that out of the refrigerator. I stir it up. If you refrigerate it before you stir it up, it then becomes impossible. It gets too hard, so you can't stir it up. So I stir it up first and then put it in the refrigerator. Don't ask me why. It's probably the wrong thing to do, but it's in the fridge currently.
I'm a pantry guy.
Thank you.
You got both sides of the coin here. All over the place.
I was going to say the natural stuff makes sense, but if it's not natural and you're keeping it in the fridge like my co-host does, it makes absolutely no sense.
I like the cold sensation of it, though. It makes it feel more like ice cream.
Yeah.
It's a little more glamorous. That's how I eat it, though. I grab a spoon and I'll eat half the container.
There's no judgment on that one. One last one. We're doing sort of a March Madness style bracket the entire month of March because all we're doing these days is watching TV. What, in your minds, I'll get from both of you, is the greatest TV show ever made?
Greatest TV show ever made? I mean, it probably like Breaking Bad, but the most I've ever watched a show is the show Entourage. I feel like it's the easiest. Like we've binged it from the top. We're currently binging it from the top. We just started like 3 days ago and we're already on like season 5 or something crazy. We've watched that show from the top at least like 6 times all the way through. I don't know why.
Only problem is I agree with you, but I used to fall asleep to it when it was the DVD and it would go back to the, oh yeah. And you would wake up in the middle of the night with the stupid main title thing going over and over and over.
100%.
So that title scene.
100%. I know that feeling. My wife had the DVDs when we first started dating. We would watch them. I think she only had like season 3 or season 4, and that was the exact scenario.
Terrible, and it ruins it for you. You're like, I'm sick of this, and then you watch it the next day because you really enjoy the show.
Totally.
Shay,
I would have to say it's a tough one for me because I recently I've always watched. I loved The Office. I always had kind of like seen episodes. It's one of those ones you can kind of jump in and out. But I went back and I watched the entire season, and that one's really solid. So I'm conflicted because Modern Family to me now is my number one. It's the easiest show to watch every night. And there's so many seasons of it. And so it's, when you're in quarantine, you can watch it. By the time you get to the end of it, which I haven't seen it all the way through yet, but I would have to say that Modern Family is up there for me. Pretty solid
But
show.
I like that you mentioned The Office, and I do the same thing going to bed. You just need a warm hug going to bed, so you put on The Office, and it's like a warm hug, and you're like, I feel like home now. This feels fine.
Breaking Bad does the opposite for me. I loved Breaking Bad, but my anxiety levels sometimes before bed was not the show I needed to watch.
Actually,
I do that.
I thought of a show that's on par with Breaking Bad. It's called Money Heist. It's on Netflix. It's unbelievable.
That is
it, but I haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's fantastic.
It's unreal.
I will give you one more suggestion. Ted Lasso might be my favorite show ever right now. It is unbelievable. That's my
I'm halfway through the first season, and I can't get enough of the positivity. I love Jason Sudeikis. I love that he won on a Golden Globe. It's the happy. You'll never have a bad day after watching that show.
No, it's unbelievable.
I need to watch it. I need to watch it.
Guys, I always appreciate chatting with you. I promise next time the mustache will return. Maybe we'll do a little Ted Lasso catch up. But thank you so much for the new song.
Ted Lasso with it, maybe.
I'm wearing a hoodie. There we go. Yeah,
it should look a lot like it, maybe.
I appreciate you guys so much, and I just wish you all the best. And I can't wait to start spinning the new single and just have a great rest of your day sitting there talking to other people like me.
Dude, you're the best, man. Thank you for taking the time.
See you, boys. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.